Good afternoon, how are we today? So, I thought I would just have a little chat with you today about the aftermath of a party. Now, the reason I'm doing that is not because it's New Year, it's because my daughter is about to turn 18 in 2 days' time, and at the weekend we had a surprise birthday tea party for her. Lots of teacups still over there, but they are clean. So we had a lovely little surprise tea party for her birthday. She's not a drinker, so we thought we'd have a tea party. Didn't mean that other people weren't drinking, but that was the general idea. And our teacups and saucers were all from my family, which I found in my dad's loft at Christmas time. So the reason I want to do this is because sometimes you need a few hints and tips if you have overindulged or you've been at a party, you feel a bit poo the next day, and it's good to know some little hints and tips, and it's also good to know, I think, the kind of science behind why you're not feeling so good. And it tends to come from probably three major things. So you've got your lack of sleep. Okay, now your lack of sleep may be alcohol induced, maybe you're just staying up partying. Our party started at 2 o'clock in the afternoon and it was just supposed to be an afternoon party. I went to bed at 2 o'clock in the morning and there were still people partying in my living room. So things happen and it was great and we had a lovely time. And I love when afternoons turn into evenings and that sort of thing. But yes, you can have a bit of a lack of sleep. So I went to bed about 2, I woke up at 6 because I heard my son and his friend going to bed. Can't do 6. I did have another few more hours sleep. But if you think about that, that was 1, a broken sleep, and 2, when I counted up the amount of hours, it wasn't a full night's sleep. So you're going to have lack of sleep. You may also have eaten some stuff at the party that you wouldn't normally eat. So there might be sugary things, there might be things with wheat in them. So I mean, we were having a tea party, so we had cake, and although it was maybe gluten-free cake because that's just what we tend to have, there's still sugar in things. We had icing on cakes, obviously full of sugar. There might be some sweets, there might be lots of different things. So you can be having a little bit of a sugar hangover, and with some people sugar affects them more than others. We have that in our house. So you can see people in our house that are a little bit more intolerant to sugar. I'm more intolerant to wheat, but there's 2 in our house that are more intolerant to sugar. And you see the spike, so they have the sugar and they start to get chatty, and then the next day you'll see that there's this low, there's a low, and then the cravings start, and that's when people start craving. And you know, these cravings can be coming from different things, and it's quite similar to alcohol, which I'm going to come on to in a sec. But you start, because your body is maybe tired, it's having a low from sugar, because your sugar spikes, you know, your cortisol, and then it messes up your insulin and lots of different hormones. Then it starts to drop again, so your body's going, oh my god, I need more energy. So it starts to crave high energy foods, and if you don't put them into your body, you feel a bit like and the other one, the big one obviously, is alcohol. Now, alcohol, yes, it's sugar, it's also a poison, and I've talked about alcohol before. You may or may not have seen me do that, but alcohol is basically a poison. So when we put it into our bodies tend to shut down most other things, so the regular digestion will stop. Well, you know, there's different effects that happen, isn't there? You might suddenly have a bit feel jolly and la, but then you won't have a proper night's sleep, because when you put alcohol, it shuts down different parts of the brain. You don't have as much of the REM sleep, the rest and repair sleep. So that's why even if you have a mega night's sleep after drinking a lot of alcohol, you can still feel knackered, can't you? You can still feel a bit pants. And that's because you've not had enough of the right sleep, and you haven't had enough of the right sleep because that's what alcohol does, it stops that. So The other thing to remember about alcohol is different alcohols affect people differently. Now, you may know that, or some people may never have known that. That was really bad English, so apologies for that. But yeah, different alcohols affect different people. So for example, I can't drink gin because it makes me want to cry, it makes me really depressed, it makes me think I'm rubbish and I've got no friends in the whole world, blah, blah, blah. Whiskey can have an effect on some, can make them go slightly bonkers. Beer, obviously things that have got wheat in them, hops, that can make people bloated, so I can't drink beer. The next day it'll make me feel bloated and it'll make me feel quite PMT-ish. Now, what I mean by quite PMT-ish is that, you know, that kind of low confidence, that kind of, you know, oh, I don't know what I'm doing with my life, oh no, nobody likes me, oh, okay, slightly dramatic maybe, but your confidence drops. And it's not that your confidence has actually dropped, it's the chemicals. So it's the chemicals, and sugar's a chemical, so it's the different chemicals in whatever it is you might have been drinking that is affecting your brain, it's affecting how you think. And different things work for different people. So the other thing, I can't drink red wine anymore, it makes me go wheezy, and I've heard that with other people. It could be the nitrates in it, it could be the tannin, it could be the sulfites, you know, it's lots of different things. So what I'm saying is different things affect different people, and it's worth remembering, it's worth noticing how you are on certain things. Yes, on Saturday I probably drank too much bubbly, so I'm here to tell you how I felt yesterday, and I'm going to be completely honest about it. I was tired, I was not short-tempered, I was just a bit kind of like, oh, can't be bothered. Slightly irritable, you know, some people start to irritate you. I'm thinking, oh, what am I doing with my business? What am I doing with my life? And that's just the aftermath of the sugar, the lack of sleep and the alcohol. And if you know that, one, maybe don't drink as much. That's what I'm going for. I actually don't drink very much anymore, but I do like to party. And I don't party very often anymore, so I maybe have partied a little bit too hard. But these are the chemical reactions, and these are the outcomes of those chemical reactions. You know, you look at my teenage son, for example, he was a bit tired yesterday, but he was like, oh yeah. And we all kind of go, oh, why can't we do that? You can't. Unless you're 20 and watching this, you can. Just be careful what you do in those 20-year-olds. But if, you know, I'm 45, Brian's 52, we can't do that anymore. Our bodies are different. Our body, you know, makeup is different from when we were in our 20s. It just doesn't happen. So you need to be aware of these things. You may need to think, okay, do I need to reduce my alcohol, or do I just not need to do it? Do I need to party without it and still have a great time? Which obviously you can do. So the little things I just want to remind you of, because I've waffled on, I'm just saying it's 8 minutes. What can you do the day after? Okay, so today when I'm making this video, this is the second day. Okay, so today's Monday, our party was on Saturday night. So yesterday I felt pants. I felt tired, I felt a little bit irritable. I was just like, oh, I can't be bothered. And as I say, the low confidence thing was kicking in, and I just kept saying to myself, it's going to pass, it's going to pass. Tomorrow I'm going to be back to me. You lose you a little bit. Okay, so today I'm back, and today I'm like, yay, everything's fine, and no one's irritating me, and all the rest of it. What can you do the day like yesterday, or continuing still today, to make it better? Okay, well, try and get as much sleep as you can. Okay, so try and have a decent night's sleep, or get back to your normal sleep routine without any alcohol. Okay, so try and get just get back to your sleeping routine. Eat as natural foods as possible. We've been out for lunch because my son was going back up north and my dad's still here. And I looked at the burgers and I looked at the fish and chips and I thought, no, I'm having a salad. And that's not to go, oh, I'm holier than thou. I needed it. I know my body needed it. It needed fresh food. And it felt really good. And I'm not going to deny it. The three of them had a pint of lager. And I went, nope, just going to have the water. because I didn't like feeling like I did yesterday. It was like a waste of a day. Not a waste of a day because we're still with people, but you know, mentally in my head it was a waste. So I thought, no, I'm not going there. Which leads me on to number 2. Get your water in. Get as much water into you as possible. You know, when you get up after a night out at a party, your skin is dry, your hair doesn't work. For most females anyway. You know, I mean, yeah, I've got quite good lighting at this time of the afternoon in here, but when I looked at myself in the mirror this morning, I thought, oh my Lord. You know, it's like extra lines, bags under my eyes. I looked like absolute rubbish. Get as much water in, and if you don't like plain water, go and find one of these bottles that you can put. I've got cucumber and lime in there, so it's a little bit of flavour and it's hydration, and I'm just tanking as much of that down as possible. I also had a really nice cup first thing this morning, a big glass of water, and then I had a cup of warm water with fresh ginger and fresh lemon in it, and that's really nice. It's good for the digestion, and it's good to get that hydration back up. And the other thing to remember is that if you're having a day like I did yesterday, so post-party, post-alcohol, whatever, just accept how you feel. Accept that you might feel a little bit low. Accept that you're maybe not your usual happy self or your usual confident self or just yourself. Accept that you're not feeling that good, and it's because of the chemicals you put in. It's not because you're a crap person. It's not because you're an unconfident person. You have got friends, you have got family, but for that one day you maybe just don't think you have. You maybe just don't think you're worthy. But accept that these are okay feelings, and accept that it's not your norm. It's just the chemicals that went in your body, and they're going back out. Okay, they're not going to stay forever. It might just take a day, it might take 2 days, depends on your age, depends on how much you drink, depends on lots of different things. And the last thing I want to say to you, something really ridiculously simple, is that on a day like that, so if you're feeling like that, just don't make any decisions. Don't make any decisions, just keep your gob shut, okay? If someone says something that irritates you, acknowledge it and let it go. No need to respond, because it's not really you that's responding. It's the party aftermath that's responding, okay? So do not make decisions on a day like that, and just keep stum. Be nice, play nice. If you need to take yourself off to a different room, if you need to go and have a lie down, if you just need to go and talk to your dogs for a bit because they are the only people that clearly like you and get you, then fine, do it. It's not a normal day, it's just the party aftermath, okay? So it might not be New Year, it might not be Christmas, but we all have birthdays, we all go to parties. Maybe this might help you, okay? See you next time. Cheers.